Welcome to the 11th hour breakthrough conversation. Today we are going to dive into the conversation of how millennials are shaking up uh, the established work norm and why business leaders need to engage with the new generation to find out what's really going on. Hi, my name is Terence. I'm an international business coach. I lead business throughout Southeast Asia. I work with an organization called Money and You to uplift business consciousness for the last 20 years. Joining me today is Mr. Izam Yusof, a former CEO, now turned business strategist, with more than 30 years of experience working with numerous entities to transform their business. Welcome to the 11th hour. And if you have any questions on the things we asked, please comment below so that we can answer your questions later in the comment and send it to you. Izam, you have your fair share working with millennials. What is it like working with them?
Terence, that's a big question. Now, sometimes I put it differently from a story point perspective. Now, being at this age, wanting to run organization and working with a set of people, the tendency is I want them to work as how I did it before and how I was raised and groomed to be where I am today. And it doesn't work anymore now. And working with millennials, there's a lot of learnings from my perspective. There's a lot of engagement and understanding them in delivering results. So the key thing is this, when running organization, our focus is getting to the results that we want, and working with millennial is just a method on how to get things done. Like it or not, they are the majority in the workforce now. They are up and coming leaders. They have a set of mind on how they want to do things. So we need to be clear on the intention, and we have to be flexible in our delivery. Oh, that's my take, Terence. You have to be very flexible. So keep the intention, keep the result that you want, be flexible, and really understand where they're coming from. Currently, we go into a telling mode a lot, and we are not into understanding where do they come from, because the needs are different from our time, Terence. I mean, we are not that young and we're not that old, but they are completely different, Terence. So what's your take on this, Terence?
What's my take? In a sense that the new age is coming. Like, during our time, our parents were told us that working hard is good, suffering builds character, go strive, then all this stuff. So we're really pretty okay to suffering, and we are okay to striving hard. We're really okay. Whereas millennials grew up differently. They grew up with most parents telling them you're the best. You don't have to suffer anymore. You deserve the best, and they grew up very, very different. So, in a sense that from the source of parenting that comes out and builds them, they are very different makeup from us. So, like, it's like if you want to learn how to handle the millionaire, they're probably like your kids. So it's like, how would you handle your kids that is being pampered like that? How do you want to deal with that? What kind of attention you want to give them? Like you say, they have different needs. They need more of your attention. So this is kind of like what they need more in the workplace. And this is about how to balance the results you want as well as giving your team their needs.
Excellent, excellent.
So now,
that's a good take.
So with that thing, how do you see, like, millennials have gotten quite a bit of bad press around their work ethics? Why is it so? What do you think?
It's quite a big thing to discuss. I know it's all not bad. It's just that we want them to be like how we were raised, like what I mentioned earlier, how we want them to be. They are very flexible. There are different dynamics. They know what they want, and life balance is important to them. And they stand guided. However, it cannot be through a telling mode. So talking about generally about millennials, they want what they want. They value the balance, they value uh, how they get things done, and they really appreciate things. So coming from us, we want to deliver the results. When they don't appreciate what they're doing, and they don't see the link, that's when they start dropping out. It's not about fulfilling a task only. It's about really getting them to understand and has value in what they are delivering, and then they'll be more engaged. So they don't just think you do this because I said so, or you do this because this is your job. We are past that. Though the assignment may be the same, your way of enrolling them cannot be that way anymore. So it has to be a different technique. There's no one way to fix everything. You got to really study. You mentioned it quite right just now, that we have to see how we raise our kids. They are in an era where everything's available. When we grew up, everything is almost there but not there. We have to work hard for it. So they are all about efficiency. They are all about getting things done with the minimal resources, with the minimal effort. And is that wrong? So they're just being smart about it. So how do we get our results? By making them work most in whatever that they're doing. So just imagine if they were to be your boss, you'll be fired or you resign immediately. Just put that you in their shoes, running organization. So we talk about working from home is an issue to some of us. To them, this is a blessing in disguise. They love the flexibility. As long as they do the work, they get paid for it, and they have the luxury of time to do whatever they want to do.
Mhm.
So it's a different conversation, Karen. So you got to really look at looking at millennials going to lead the country, going to lead organization in the future. The question we ask is, how do we prepare them on one thing? Wisdom. The method, they can handle it their way. We are there to guide on wisdom and insight. So that's where we play a big role, Terence.
Mhm. So, like what he's saying is this: like in the past, we are kind of like soldiers, where the generals give us instruction, we just get it done, no questions asked. Where now it's like because they have so many ways of getting things done, they don't may necessarily want to do it your way, and they want to know the big picture, know where you're heading, know kind of which part they're involved, so that they can figure out what's the best approach to do it and get it done for you most efficiently, faster. And is that kind of what you're saying?
In a way, Terence, again, we go back to basics. Running businesses in organization, you look to four key areas. You look at the people, process, and then you look at the structure, and then you look at the technology. So that base has to be there. And then when you look into the future, you look whether the business is sustainable, whether there's technology as an enabler, where how the work culture going to be in the future, and then is there any innovations happening in the business. So when you anchor these two, people, process, structure, technology, when you anchor where you are heading in terms of sustainability, the future workforce in terms of, and then you look into innovation, you look into whatever that I've mentioned earlier. So when you anchor these two things, the what's the missing piece in the middle is how to get there. So this is where we need some flexibility, Terence. So we can talk a lot about them, but it's not about them there and we are here. It has to be um, a mixture. Taking the business forward, you need engagement. To
Mhm.
take the business to a direction, you need staff. Currently, your staff, most of them are millennials. So
Mhm.
now, how to make most out of it? So now, if you're listening to this conversation, you just type out, do you have many staff? There are millennials or there are staff about your age. So what are the expectation gap? You build the business in a certain way. You have your staff to have a different expectation. How do you bridge the gap? So that's quite critical, Terence. So don't go into blaming mode, excuses, or justification from both ends, whether
Mhm.
millennials as a staff or millennial as a boss, or even us, the the baby boomer, the Gen X or the Gen Y. The key question is how to work together to make most things happen and to build synergy so that you can really multiply, like we know from the lesson from two animals working together. If you do individually, you get one result each. If you do together, you get multiple results. So how to engage them in that manner? And and they are all about having fun. We are all about working hard and frowning about work, and we like it. They are all about getting there, having balanced life, and having fun along the way. So, Terence, that's quite a big discussion, Terence. And there's no real expert in this. You have to experience this, whether running business with millennials or millennials having staff like us. So then we really learn how to engage. So it's not really uh, talking about it with no experience. So for those who are listening or viewing this, I'm sure you have your own fair share of experience. You type out what do you feel in running this, and what is it, and the key thing is what's the essence of your business, what your intention of it, and where do you want to go, and just balance it out, and make it work, Terence.
Okay, so like this is the one of the interesting conversation that I usually get. It's like when millennials are in an organization, there's some complaints that say they are rebellious. They don't follow the rules. You have you say there's people and there's process, and then when you talk about all these processes, and like they don't follow the process. Or what do you say to that? Because like they kind of like the processes seems old, it's not efficient, and then you have processes to run the business. They don't want to follow process. How do you handle that conflict?
That's a brilliant question. Now, the thing is this: when you look into processes, there are two types. One, written processes getting to something. The other one is behavioral processes, how you practice doing things. So if you go into the processes of A to Z, getting things done on document paper, I'm sure they will follow. So what they resist is to have an old framework, practices how to get to a result when they know better how to cut short that to do with a better result or similar result. So
Mhm.
typically in an organization, some processes are there for ancients, for many years. It hasn't been reviewed. So I remember in one organization where I reviewed 135 processes, we cut it down to 75. So those some of the processes are there for a reason, for a purpose at one point of time. Because it's there, we keep following the processes. So that's why we have process review annually to look into things. And when they come in on the job, they come into the review, they will see it in different light. So what's the intention? You cut down hours, you cut down time, you cut down paperwork, and then it's deliver the same results or better. So in Money and You, we learn to do more with less. And we learn about synergy, how to leverage on things. So they are using it to the most. And then for those who are engaging, thank you for being with here. And then I'm sure you have your own view. You you can do more with the whole thing, and you just listen from your thoughts as I'm explaining to you how the things work and what it may be in your business, and possibly what are the things in your thoughts in when you're running your business, or if you're a millennial, what are your thoughts about your boss. So coming from not justifying, not giving excuses, and not blaming, what's your take? What's your take? You got to see from everybody's shoes. So then you see the value that are coming from only the method that you have some challenges in the green. It goes both ways. So for those who are here and listening, thank you very much for being here in this conversation. It's a big topic and there's no real solution. You have to go through it and just follow your gut feel and make it okay for everyone as long as you achieve the result that you want. So that's from me, Terence.
Thank you so much. Thank you, like Fazil, for joining us and Lamini for joining us. Really, if you have any questions, key in below so we can answer your questions as soon as we get them. Okay, so today we are about at the end of the session. If you're a business leader listening in and you feel lonely at the top and you find like, these are things that you're handling, you don't know what to do, and then we are actually having a conversation with a small group. We have only a couple of places, like 2 places left. So Izam and I will be doing this on Tuesday night, 21st July, 8:30 p.m., our business builder program, and we'll work with you guys, look into what's really going on in business and see how we can support you. Anything else to say before we end the call, Izam? Izam?
Well, tell the truth with compassion, and then be gentle with everyone, both sides, millennial to the older bosses, the bosses with the millennial. So go back to intention, and once you have clarity, tell the truth with compassion. I think things can be worked out. It's not about one is better than the other. It's how we work together and then building a relationship to make the business relationship work and the team really propel forward, into achieving the target. I'm sure they're there with the intention for the business to grow. Now, the method we have to really look at what's serving the future. It's not about our era, it's about serving the future, and both have to balance out. So that's from me, Terence.
Thank you very much. So see you in Tuesday, or join us more on the 11-hour breakthrough conversation. Talk to you guys soon.